Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm going to give a few seconds so that people join the webinar, and we're going to be starting this information session about our Master of Advanced Management at the Yale School of Management. So bear with me a few more seconds so that everybody has a chance to join, then we'll start. Okay, it seems like everybody has been able to join us. My name is Camino de Paz. I'm the Assistant Dean of Global Network Programs here at the Yale School of Management. And part of my role is overseeing admissions to 2-degree programs. The first one is the Master of Advanced Management, which is the program that we're going to be talking about today. And the other program is the Master's in Management in Global Business and Society. And that is another program that we're not going to be covering today, but if you have interest, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. I've been at Yale for 8 years now, and as you can tell from my accent, I am not from the US. I'm originally from Spain, and I've been working in global initiatives over the past 8 years here at Yale School of Management. I'm not alone in this info session. I have two of my colleagues, Kate Navarro in the back end. You won't be seeing her, but she's supporting us, making sure that the webinar runs smoothly. Thank you, Kate. And also Kelsey Kinabi, who's going to introduce herself, and she's going to be presenting with me today. Kelsey.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name's Kelsey. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for the Master of Advanced Management program at Yale. I've been at Yale for about 6 years, for about 4 of them. And one of my favorite parts is being able to share more about these programs. So I'm excited to spend the time with you today.
Thank you, Kelsey. So without further ado, we are going to be starting our presentation. But before I do so, if you have questions, I encourage you to put them in the Q&A function, and we will be taking questions at the end. So feel free to, write down your questions there. We want to make sure that we answer every question that you might have that we might cover or not cover in the slides. So feel free to put your questions there, and we will address them all at the end. So some other information that you can look at if you're interested in the Master of Advanced Management is go to our website. We have had other events. We've been running events all over the fall and the winter, and you have all the information in our website. We have recorded every event. We're recording this event today as well. So you have an MAM alumni panel and an MAM student panel. I totally encourage you to watch those panels. Why? Because Kelsey and I can tell you all we want about the program, but nothing like the experience of people that have gone through it, right? So the students are living the experience right now. The alumni have lived the experience and now returned to the workforce. So I think the insights from those two stakeholders is key for you to make a decision on whether the program is the right next step in your career or not. Also, please check our website because we do have student ambassadors, and you can talk one-on-one to one of our ambassadors, and they will be able to provide you advice on how they have made the decisions because they were in your shoes not that long ago, and also, address your personal questions that you might have. And then we have upcoming events. So we have this info session today, but then on Friday, we're going to be having a masterclass with our professor, Ted Snyder. He's our former dean. He was the one that created the Global Network for Advanced Management, and actually these two programs, the Master of Advanced Management and the Master in Global Business and Society. Both of these programs were created for students that graduated from the MBA, in the case of the MAM, and the Master's in Management, in the case of the GBS, from Global Network schools. We will be talking more about the MAM today, and we, for the first time, are opening this program to non-Global Network schools. So MBA graduates, this is a requirement. MBA graduates from either Global Network schools or non-Global Network schools. Kelsey later on will explain all our rounds and when you should be considering applying, should you be interested in the program. So masterclass, Ted Snyder, Friday, February 4th at 9 a.m. our time. You can sign up in case you can't make it. because we will be recording the session and we will be sharing the session with everybody who has registered. And the topic will be issues in high-tech industries. So that is his field of expertise. He teaches a class at SOM on that topic, and he will giving you a masterclass this Friday. The other session that is coming up is an MAM application tips webinar, and that's going to be on February 8th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today we're going to give an overview of the program, but next Tuesday we're going to go deeper into the application process and give you some advice and tips on, how to put together the best application possible to present your best self and have, the best shot to be admitted to this program. Okay. So let's go into the program itself. As I said, the Master of Advanced Management is targeted to MBA graduates from around the world. And this is how the class of 2022 looks like. We have 55 MBA graduates coming from 27 countries of citizenship. 91% are international passport holders. 17 global knowledge schools represented. We would like to have more schools represented. That's also what we're opening up the program. We want the best and the brightest from all over the world. Average age is 32 years old, 45% women. This is actually a good percentage. We would love it to be 50% or above that, but at least 50%. But we know that when we advance in our careers, for women, it gets more difficult to continue our education, but hopefully we will be able to change that in the near future. 98% of our students speak 2 or more languages, and 71% speak 3 or more languages. So all this to say that we have a truly global class, not just because students come from another country that would make them international, but because they're truly global citizens, people that have lived in several countries. They have studied, they have worked, and exposed to different cultures. And that is the essence of this program. So where do they come from? So you're probably wondering, okay, this is a truly global program, but where do they come from? Well, they have come from, this is obviously in the history of the program, they have come from 70 countries on 6 continents. We would love to have even more representation. So it's a truly, truly global talent. And you can see on the slide, where do they come from by region and the different countries that we have had represented in the program. So very quickly, the Global Network for Advanced Management, and this is the other hat that I wear at SOM. So I oversee admissions, as I said, for these 2 degree programs, but I also have another team with whom I work acting as back office of the Global Network for Advanced Management, which is a network of 32 top business schools around the world. We work together in providing students opportunities, students, faculty, and other stakeholders, not just students, opportunities that we wouldn't be able to offer on our own. So I assume that many of you are studying your MBA right now at a Global Network school. So check with your MBA office if you haven't been told about these opportunities. We do put together Global Network weeks, Global Network courses, competitions, many events that you can be a part of to kind of expand your experience as an MBA beyond your own school. So again, we work on very many different initiatives. Hopefully you already have participated in some of them or are considering participating. If not, check your MBA program office because they should know about all this and give you the opportunity to, again, have a different experience as you pursue your MBA. You can see on the slide what are the schools part of the network divided by region. So I'm sure that by now you have already identified your own school, if it's the case that you come from a Global Network school. We might have people on this session that are from outside of GNAM, and we welcome you as well as the first time that we will be accepting applications from MBA graduates from around the world. So what is the portfolio of programs at the Yale School of Management? If you decide to come to the MAM, who will you be studying with? So this is our full portfolio. We do have our flagship program as every business school in the world, which is a full-time MBA. It's a 2-year degree program. First year is the core. Second year are electives. And part of that full-time MBA, we do have a very small program called Silver Scholars. The Silver Scholars are brilliant, recent undergraduate students who, again, are brilliant, and they come to us directly from college to do the full-time MBA. So they do the first year with us, then they go on and work, and then they come back 2 years later to do the elective with us. As you very well know, the full-time MBA is a post-experience program. So the average working experience for our students is 5 years. But these Silver Scholars, again, is a handful of brilliant undergraduate students that finish college and they come straight to us. Then we have the MBA for executives. This is our most senior program. They come on campus every other weekend, Fridays and Saturdays. So you will be interacting with these students the least because you won't have classes at the same time, but they might be participating in some extracurricular activities and you might have the opportunity to meet them. The average work experience for the MBA for executives is around 10 years and they are all working. So this is a part-time program. Then we have, hopefully you, Master of Advanced Management. This is a 1-year degree program that, as you know, its name says, is targeted to advanced management courses. So basically you will take classes with our MBAs and with other programs, the GBS students and others. And I will talk about the curriculum more, but it's basically all electives. You craft your own curriculum. And this is an opportunity that you probably haven't had before. And you know, this program allows you to do. It's great on the one hand side, but it will be challenging on the other hand side because you have to make sure that you pick the right courses and the right curriculum for you. And we will talk more about that. Then we have the Master of Management Studies. And there we have 3 different programs. The Global Business and Society one, which is the one that we also oversee, which is targeting Masters in Management graduates from Global Network schools. And then we have 2 niche programs, Asset Management, which is a specialized program, also pre-experience as the Global Business and Society. These 2 are pre-experience. And then we have a Systemic Risk program. And this is a very small program that targets people working on central banks. Then lastly, we have our PhD program. You will be seeing some of these PhD students because they will act as teaching assistants in your classes. So they will be not with you as colleagues in class, but teaming up with professors to support classes and help you through your studies. So this is the portfolio of programs that we have at SOM right now. So what is our mission statement? Our mission statement is to educate leaders for business and society. And this is something that everybody at the school is very proud of. And every one of us know our mission and work towards this mission statement. From the person that welcomes you at the front desk all the way to our dean, we all know that we educate leaders for business and society. Every single business school in the world educates leaders for business. We are going to put a lot of emphasis on the second part, and society. So you will see that a lot of the courses that we have in our curriculum will have a lot of, you know, the content regarding how whatever discipline we're studying makes an impact in society, how it will improve the world we live on, how can we raise awareness about the problems that we're facing today. So again, it's going to be present in all our stakeholders. We know we have a purpose. 2, in the curriculum, and 3, in all our extracurricular activities, a lot of conferences, clubs, and Kelsey will be talking more about that, will have a very strong sense of making an impact. And this is something that I would like you to know that we're also going to be looking for in our candidates, because if we think this is so important to us, we definitely want to bring in people that embrace this mission statement. So even though this is not the admissions application tips webinar, I'm already giving you one. if you decide to apply to the program, please make sure that you show us that you have a purpose, that you want to make an impact, that you want to improve the world we live in, independently of, where is the career path that you would like to pursue. This is something we're going to be looking at in the admission process as well. Okay, so let's go into the program. Let's go into the MAM. Who should be doing the MAM program? So the first thing that I want to say is you are already doing an MBA or have recently graduated from an MBA from a top business school in the world. So you can totally go back to the workforce and don't need to do a master's in advanced management. It's not something that is for everybody. It's pretty much a niche program. And the people that should be considering the program are those that would like to go deeper in a specific area that they haven't had the opportunity during their MBA. I mean, you probably have the opportunity to take some electives, but maybe not as many or on the same field that you would like to. So I don't know, fintech, behavioral sciences, fields in which we have expertise. Maybe that is something you would like to specialize in and you would like to come to SOM and take a lot of classes on those fields. That would be a reason. Or you want to go broader. You want to take classes outside of management. You, again, have a purpose to improve sustainability or change climate change, or you have a passion for public health. You can come to SOM and then take classes outside of the School of Management at any of the other professional schools, and then fulfill your professional aspirations, or why not, also your personal aspirations. We do have people that take classes at the School of Drama or the School of Music, or they do take a class in astronomy or in another language that they're interested in. So it's a way also to kind of expand your education beyond just management. Lastly, you can do both. So you can go deeper and broader. Again, you craft your own curriculum. And so you are the one that knows what's missing, why are you thinking about the program, and what would be the right combination of courses for you to take you to the next level, both personally and professionally. What would you get out of the program? Well, you will get 2 networks and 2 brands, your school, your MBA schools, and Yale SOM. You will have a global career. I mean, most of our students already come with a global career, but even more so. A lot of students end up in rotational programs around the world, or they end up working either on a 3rd or 4th country that is different from their own. And you will find a community of purpose. Again, we are a mission-driven school, and you will find Yalis all over the world with the same purpose and willing to help you, and they're also expecting the same in return from you. So I've been talking about the curriculum, how flexible it is, that you can shape it, the way you want it, but how does that work? And how do I do that? Well, the program has 40 units of credit. That is what is required from you. Out of those 40, only 4 are required courses. And those 4 units are actually divided into 2 courses, which is global leadership topics in business and society, and global leadership, personal and interpersonal effectiveness. The first one is a colloquium type course. We bring into the class thought leaders from around the university, other parts of the university, not the business school. And we also bring top people from the corporate world. And they engage with our students in a very, fruitful conversation and discussion about topics that are, trending in the world at the intersection of business and society. This is a course that has a very, very engaging energy, because our students come from so many different backgrounds in so many different countries. That conversation, there's never a silent moment in class. It's very, very, very energetic. The other class will work on your communication and teamwork skills. So it's personal, interpersonal effectiveness. It will, have in mind the different cultural differences that people bring to the table, and will help you improve as a future leader in a global environment. Okay, so those are the 4 required units. Then all the rest, 36 elective courses, they're really up to you. You can take them from more than 150 electives that we have at SOM, choosing again any discipline that you're interested in, that you would like to go deeper, or you can go outside of SOM and take classes at any of the other professional schools that we have at Yale. So this is 2 examples of 2 different students that did the Master of Advanced Management with us in 2021. And again, no 2 students have the same program. They all graduate with a Master's of Advanced Management, but then the courses that they've taken, they're completely different. So on the left-hand side, we have Dan. He is from China and did his program at the National University of Singapore. And these were the classes he took. So he took a few classes at the School of Management on strategy, mostly on strategy. And then he did take a class at the School of the Environment, Environmental Law and Policy, some at the Jackson Institute, so courses on global affairs, 1 class in anthropology. Clearly, this was a personal interest of him. He really wanted to explore this field for personal reasons, a class in economics, a class in film and media studies, most likely also something of personal interest, and then a class in comparative literature. So he really went out of the School of Management and took classes in different fields and different professional schools around the university. On the right-hand side, we have Peter. He is from the UK and attended a school at IE Business School in Madrid. And these were the classes that he selected. He, on the contrary, took a lot of classes at the School of Management. You can see all those classes related with operations, big data, business analytics, strategy. So a lot of, management courses. And then he did take a couple of classes at the School of the Environment, a class in philosophy, also clearly something of interest to him, probably. A couple classes at the graduate school and 1 class in political science. Again, you decide how you craft your own curriculum depending on your personal and professional interests. Okay, now something that I know is in a lot of people's minds. It comes up very often in the questions that we receive, and is the management science concentration. So I think it's a couple years back, we decided to create this management science concentration. The first thing that I want to say is it doesn't show up in your certificate. Your certificate will be a Master of Advanced Management for everybody. So the concentration is not a specialization. Everybody gets the same degree. But if you are interested in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, you have the opportunity to complete a minimum of 16 credit units of eligible courses focusing on these disciplines. On the right-hand side, you have a list of the most popular courses, but as you see, there are 26 options. So we just listed a few that are very popular. But again, you have 26 elective to choose from. So if it doesn't show in your certificate, why have we created a concentration? Well, firstly, because there's interest among our students, but the main reason is because for those of you that are familiar with graduating undergraduate studies in the US, once you graduate from a degree in this country, you are eligible for something called OPT, Optional Practical Training. What that means is that if you graduate, you are eligible to stay for 1 year in the US without having to go through the painful visa work process that some of us had to go through. And you just need to have a job offer from a US company, and you can stay for an additional year, again, extending your student visa without having to work on a different working visa. If you decide to take the STEM concentration, that OPT, Optional Practical Training, can be extended for 2 additional years. So you are eligible to stay in the US working for up to 3 years without a working visa. So as appealing as this might sound to many of you, and I understand why, I would never recommend you to do the program solely because you want to take advantage of OPT and stay in the US. Why? Because there's no guarantee. You do need a job offer. And that is not something that, Yale SOM can guarantee, or you will know for sure that that is going to happen. So you should do the Master of Advanced Management because you really are interested in the content, because you really want to take your education to the next level, and because there are things here at SOM that will definitely make you advance as a professional and as a person, not just because you want to stay in the US, because that is an unknown for all of us. So with that, oh, sorry, I got one more slide, which is showing you how your curriculum will look like should you decide to pursue the STEM concentration. Because you might think, okay, so wait a minute, if I have total freedom to craft my curriculum, if I take the STEM concentration, I do have to take 16 units out of 26 electives. That is not, that's a little bit of a constraint. Like I don't have that much choice then, it's only some choice. So you have the 4 units that are required, 16 units that you have to take from those 26 electives if you pursue the management science concentration, but you still have 20 units that are completely up to you and you can take in any discipline. So basically what this chart shows is that you still have a lot of, half of your curriculum that is decided by you without no constraints whatsoever about the topics that you wanna take in your curriculum. So now, yes, I'm gonna turn it over to Kelsey, who is going to talk about the fun stuff, which is what happens outside of the classroom. And this is equally important. There's so much activity and energy going on campus that this is also something that you have to consider when applying to the MAM, not just what classes are you going to take, but also what extracurricular activities you are going to be participating in. Kelsey?
Great, thank you, Camino. Yes, Camino was kind enough to give me the fun slides, so I'm excited to talk with you about these. At the School of Management, there are over 50 different clubs and electives that you can get involved in, and that's just within the School of Management. So you can also explore Greater Yale, which we'll talk about in a minute, but let's focus on these pictures here. So starting on the top left, you'll see a bunch of hockey players. This is one of our social clubs. It's a hockey team. It's very popular, no experience needed. It's just for fun. So that's an example of one of the social clubs you could get involved in. Another club like that is the Food and Wine Club, which is very popular, snowboarding club, among others. In addition to social clubs, we also have professional clubs, which will mirror a lot of your interests. And you may have access to similar clubs at your MBA school. So this would be things like the consulting club, the finance club, things like that. And then lastly, for clubs, we also have affinity groups. So we have the African Business Club and the Southeast Asia Club and the Greater China Club. So lots of different things to get involved in to help you explore your interests, who you are, and different people who you want to meet while you're here. Moving over one photo, this is a picture from one of our conferences. And I think that this is one of the great things about being in Evans Hall. It's a relatively new building. It's very high tech. So we are able to welcome a lot of really cool conferences to Yale SOM. While I've been here, I've seen a ton. It would be impossible to name them all. Some that are coming to my mind are that I've seen a FinTech conference. I have seen an education conference and a healthcare conference. I've seen a conference on financial stability. So you will get to meet and hear about a lot of interesting topics at the school. The next photo is showing one of our case competitions. So you can get involved in case competitions while you're here, meet new people, expand your network, and maybe even win a little bit of money in the process, which is exciting. And then moving down to the photo of a long table, this is a photo of our Friendsgiving. And what that is our take on the traditional US holiday, Thanksgiving. So students, faculty, and staff all gather together to celebrate the holiday, to enjoy a traditional meal, and really give thanks for what they're thankful for that year. If it's being at Yale, if it's meeting new people, it's a really fun event that we all get to take part in. The next photo was taken from our orientation, and I like to highlight here that orientation is mandatory, but we do make it as fun as possible. So you will get to meet all of your cohort. That'll be the first time that you meet them in person, so it'll be very exciting. This particular year that you're seeing a photo of, we took them on a ropes course, and that was a really great bonding experience for our students. And then the last picture on this page is always one of my favorites to talk about because it happens every week, and that is called Closing Bell. It's essentially a party at the end of the week to celebrate the end of the academic week. So we don't hold classes on Fridays at the School of Management because Fridays are typically career days. So every Thursday evening, it's themed differently every week, but we have party at SOM. The photo here was themed different countries around the world. So students got to celebrate where they're from or where they've worked, and they cooked traditional food and wore traditional clothing, taught dances, and taught their classmates a lot about the countries where they were from or where they have spent some time. I mentioned that we have a lot of great speakers and conferences. This page highlights a lot of the great speakers that we welcomed recently. So if you look at the photo with Laszlo Bach, he is an alum, class of '99. He is the CEO and founder of Humu, and he is pictured here with a professor of organizational behavior, Amy Wisniewski. You'll also see Janet Yellen, the Secretary of the Treasury and former chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, pictured here with one of our finance faculty members, Professor Andrew Metrick. And then the bottom picture is one of my favorites to talk about because we have an MAM student in it. We have His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana in the middle. And he is pictured here with MAM student Rahina Garba, who is also from Ghana, and one of our professors, Elijah Paintsill. So you can imagine what an exciting opportunity this was for Rahina to be able to meet the president of her home country while at SOM and present him with a gift. So I think it just goes to show you, you'll never know who you'll meet here or the opportunities that you'll have. And as much as we welcome you into the doors at Yale School of Management, we will also push you out a little bit. You are a student of Yale University, so we want you to explore every bit of that. So none of these pictures are taken at the School of Management, but they are all equally as beautiful. So what we show here is that we want you to study in our libraries and go to our museum, attend different plays, and explore clubs maybe outside of SOM and different groups that you can join outside of SOM, and really take advantage of everything that being a Yale student has to offer. So the program is one academic year, which is 9 months, and it does go by quickly. So I know you are all curious about where you will end up after. So let's talk a little bit about that. This slide here shows you the different sectors and regions where our MAM students end up. As you're looking at them, you will probably notice that they mirror a lot of what your MBA classmates were interested in. The top fields this year being tech, finance, healthcare. You'll also see consulting on there, media, consumer products. So we do have a lot, but I don't think you'll be surprised by these. I think that they mirror a lot of what your MBA classmates and what you are interested yourself. Where do our students end up in the world? It's really all over. As we've mentioned, we do have a global group. So you will see high presence in the US and Asia on these slides. The high presence in the US is due to OPT, as Camino was talking about before. So while students may begin their career in the US, some may stay, some may go on to pursue careers in other countries. So this snapshot is taken the year after they graduate. So I hope that gives you a bit of an idea where our students are ending up. And we do have a fantastic career development office who is partnered with a lot of great companies who know who the MAM students are. They know what SOM talent is. So pictured here are some companies that hopefully interest you. This is just a handful of them, of great companies where our MAM students have worked and who come to SOM to recruit SOM talent. So you see Google, Amazon, BCG, among others on this slide. So now let's talk about the application process. I hope at this point the program sounds good to you. I hope that we've met your expectations of what you were hoping for. So let's talk about applying to it. It's a standard online application. In that application, it will include essays. We do ask a couple of them. You will have to upload your resume with all of your work experience on it. transcripts from any degree granting university you have been to. So that would be both your undergraduate degree as well as your MBA degree. And we understand that you may still be in your MBA degree. So what we ask for is your grades up until the point that you are applying. We do require a GMAT or GRE test score from every applicant. And then we request 2 letters of recommendation. So one is from a professional source of your choosing. It doesn't necessarily have to be from a current supervisor, but we do recommend it come from a professional source. So someone who has supervised your work in the past and can speak to your ability to succeed in the program. And the next letter is a letter of support from your dean or director. If you aren't sure what that is, feel free to reach out to us. We can tell you by school how you may be able to obtain that. The next thing is video questions. So you will get access to those after you pay the $95 application fee. You'll then have access to record your video questions. And I always get a lot of questions about these because they tend to make people a little bit nervous. And believe me, I get it. Camino and I are both on camera right now, so we get that it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, but I promise we expect some nerves. So what we are is just hearing your answers to the questions. It also helps us to gauge your language ability since we don't require the TOEFL or an English exam score. And it is a fast-paced classroom taught in English, so it does help us gauge your English ability as well. And then after all of those things, interviews are extended by invitation only. And here you can see the deadlines on the screen. So round 1 has passed. Round 2 is right around the corner. It's 20 days away. And then round 3 is there as well for students who may not be ready to apply in round 2 if they are global network students. And that it is also open to our students outside of the global network in round 3. So please keep those dates in mind as you are putting your application together. Now let's talk about affording your MAM. We also get asked this question a lot. Of course, it's very important. We do have the tuition on there, and we do know that it's an expensive program. So we want to be very transparent with you about all the costs. So please know we are committed to making this a possibility for our admitted students. And we have that through a couple of different funding options. International student loans may be available to you. You may need a co-signer for them, but we will have information to learn more about those on our website, so you could do your research and learn a little bit more about those. We do have scholarships, which I'll touch on in just a minute. And then there are some on-campus student employment opportunities to maybe help with some small expenses while you're here, maybe some grocery money or some furniture money. You are an international student. You do have to work on campus. You aren't able to obtain employment off of campus due to visa restrictions. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of some different funding options. But now let's talk about the scholarships. They are merit-based. All of our admitted students are automatically considered for them. You don't need to submit a separate scholarship form to be considered for a merit-based scholarship. They do range in amount. You could see here it says $10,000 US to about half tuition with everything in between possible. And some exceptional students may receive above half tuition. I want to say it would be some exceptional students. This is not something that we are able to offer to all of our students or the majority of our students. So please keep that in mind. And here you can see a student budget example with the tuition after a potential merit scholarship was taken into consideration. So you have the tuition. The first example is minus $10,000. So you could see what you would owe at that point. The second one is a little bit of a larger scholarship. So you could see what it would look like if you were offered a scholarship of about $25,000. And I know Camino mentioned these in the beginning, but of course we want to highlight again our upcoming events that we hope you do join. We're very excited for them, especially our class on Friday. We always hear rave reviews from Professor Edward Snyder's class, so I'm really excited to be able to sit in on that one, and I hope you all join. And next we have our application tips webinar, which will be next week, and I think that that will also be helpful. I often get asked if I have any tips for applying. We are going to share all of our tips and secrets there, so please join that one. And with that, I will turn it over to questions. So I know Kate will be monitoring the questions that are coming in, so please feel free to submit your questions in the Q&A, and she will send them to us on our end. Okay, great. It looks like we already have a question. Do we get to interact with alumni from programs outside of the MAM, even outside of the USA? I can answer that, and Camino, please feel free to add whatever you would like. Definitely. So as a Yale SOM student, regardless of program, you have access to our alumni database. So you will definitely have the opportunity to interact with different alums, whether they were an MAM graduate or whether they graduated from a different program. And our alums are really all over the world, so there is no geographical restriction to that. Next question, can you talk about the interaction among MAM students and other programs? Do we get a chance to work closely with students from other programs? Camino, do you want to take that one?
Sure. The answer is yes. You will be taking classes with not only MAM students, but also students from the MBA and students from the GBS program. So again, because you choose your classes, it's not like this is a cohort model where only MAM students take classes together. You will have colleagues and work with people from the MBA and the GBS most likely. So you will have a lot of interaction with those two programs because they will be taking classes with you. And then for the extracurricular part, you will be also interacting with all the degree programs, not only those two programs, but probably also students from asset management or risk management, or even the MBA for executive students if you participate in conferences or clubs that include all our student population.
Great, thank you, Camino. Next question, are students guaranteed on-campus accommodation? Where do MAM students live? I'm happy to answer this one. We aren't able to guarantee anything. It is the student's responsibility to work with Yale Housing if they do want to live on campus. You know, graduate level housing does fill up quickly, so it's certainly a possibility. Many of our students do take advantage of that possibility. If you are admitted, it's something I would recommend you look into right away. It's not something that we are able to set up with you through admissions, so you will work directly with Yale Housing if you want to live on campus. There are other options. Many of our MAM students do live off campus. And when I say off campus, I know this can mean different things for students based on where they've gone to school in the past. Off campus is really, it's near campus. New Haven, Yale takes up a lot of New Haven, and so you'll learn from previous students what neighborhoods are really close to campus, what might be a couple of minutes walking distance away. So that is also an option, and I've noticed in the past, typically our MAM students who come with a family tend to live off campus.
We have a question about non-GNAM students. This year, round 3 is open for non-GNAM students, and the question is whether we will be accepting non-GNAM students from round 1 in the upcoming year. We really don't know, so we're gonna wait and see how things go this year. So for sure, we will be accepting non-GNAM schools in round 3 next year as well. Whether we will be opening it up from earlier rounds, that's still to be determined, so stay tuned. But for sure, round 3 this year and next year, and then potentially changes there, but stay tuned. We still don't know until we see how things go this year.
Thanks, Camino. We have another question. This is a quick one, so I'll take it. What is the program start date? It does start mid-August with orientation, and as I mentioned earlier, orientation is mandatory, so if you are admitted and you choose to come to the MAM program, please make arrangements. We'll give you an exact date, but please make arrangements with your current job or any other responsibilities that you have to be here mid-August. And then Camino, I will hand this question over to you. How does campus recruitment happen? Are there many formal on-campus recruitment opportunities as the MBA program has? What does recruiting look like?
Well, the MAM and the MBA recruit together. So every event that is targeted to the MBAs is also targeted to the MAMs. They actually recruit together. Let's not forget that the MAMs are also MBAs. They have graduated from a top business school with an MBA, so they actually recruit together. And so there's no such a thing as recruitment events for MBAs and recruitment events for MAMs. It's just recruitment events for MBAs/MAMs altogether.
Great. So it looks like we have a question. What's the percentage of students that will not be from the global network? Is there a quota? Camino, I will pass that one to you as well.
Yes. No, there's not a quota. So I presented on one of the earlier slides that our class this year is 55 students. We might increase that number this year to around 65 students or so. And that is our goal as it was in the past. So what we're trying to attract is the best and the brightest and the people that really fit with our school and our mission. So there are no such a thing as quotas. We really want to get the best and the brightest from around the world. And we have a very strong connection with our global network schools, but we don't want to limit ourselves to just those schools. We want to attract talent from the world, whatever they are. So yeah, no quotas, no percentage. We want the best and the brightest, and we will not reject people because we have a quota. That's not going to happen.
Great, thank you. And now it looks like we have a question from someone from HKUST who has completed part of their MBA from HKUST and wants to know if they can apply now or if they should wait until they graduate. The answer is you can apply now. We do have a concurrent degree arrangement with HKUST, which means you'll complete your core courses at HKUST and then come take your electives at Yale SOM. And it sounds like you do have some grades on your transcript to show us if I'm reading that correctly. So we will be able to see how you've done so far in your MBA programs. Certainly apply now. Next question, are there resources for spouses if I bring my spouse? I can answer this one. The answer is yes. Our spouses are very involved within the Yale community. We do have a Partners and Spouses Club. We often meet spouses quite often during events, which is always exciting to see. We'd love to see your family. There are groups for them to join. There are activities for them to do. Some of our MAM students in the past set up a babysitting network amongst themselves for the mothers who are in the group, which I think is fantastic. So definitely a lot of resources for your spouse if you choose to bring them. Next, Camino, I will hand this one over to you. What's it like to live in New Haven?
That's a good question. Having come from Madrid, it was a big change. So the first thing that I would say is that it's cold in the winter. It's very cold, but it's also a very manageable city. It's a small city. It's very manageable. It's halfway through New York and Boston, so it's easy to get to both big cities easily. New Haven is clearly a college city. A lot of vibrant energy from young people around because of Yale. I would also say that it can be a tricky city because while we live in this bubble of the university, there are also sides of the city that are a little bit more complicated. So if you decide to come, we will give you more information, but it's beautiful, a lot of things to do. Some parts of the city aren't the safest, but again, we do live in our area and we do a lot of things within campus, and very manageable, and again, very close to Boston and New York.
Thanks, Camino. A similar question came in while you were answering that. Do I need a car to get around campus and get my groceries, etc.? You don't need a car. Sorry, Camino, do you want to add to that?
No, I just want to say you don't need a car to get around New Haven. If you want to go to a big mall to get your groceries, then you might need a car because you will only find like small grocery stores in the city. If you want to go to a bigger one, then you might have to need a car.
We also do have the Yale shuttle, which helps students get around New Haven. I think they do take some trips off of kind of the Yale bubble. I think they go to IKEA and maybe Target and things like that. So definitely don't need a car. I have seen maybe one student bring a car with them the entire time I've worked for this program, so not necessary. We have a question. If I am a reapplicant, what should I do differently this year? I can answer that, and then Camino, please hop in if you have anything to add. If you are a reapplicant, we would definitely welcome your application again. I would say to highlight the strengths that you've gained since your last application. So if you have a new position at work, you have a new test score you want to provide to us, if you've done some more volunteer work or things like that, definitely highlight how you've grown since your last application.
Yeah, I think that the key is do not submit the same application that you submitted last year, because clearly it wasn't successful. So we want to see more things. We want to see growth in whatever aspect of your application was weaker. If it was that you didn't have enough work experience, we hope that you took the year or 2 years post rejection to improve that part of your application. If your test scores were very low, we hope that you have worked on them and improved them. It's very difficult to change your transcript. So, you know, if you didn't perform well, you can't in your undergrad or your MBA, that's difficult to change, but then you should complement that with something that is pretty unique and that shows to us that you're committed and that you are able to excel and come back from, you know, those times where you weren't at your best, that you have moved forward and you're able to excel in a very competitive environment. That's what I would say.
Great. We have a question about courses in the MAM. Is there a course about practice in business during the MAM? For example, students working as a team to help the company complete a practical project. So the exciting thing about the MAM is that you really build your own curriculum based on what you're interested in and what you think will help you with your career. And for this question in particular, I think one of the core courses, personal and interpersonal dynamics, you'll find very interesting. Camino, anything to add to that?
No, that's it. There are courses specifically that work with companies. Like it's, I'm just thinking of a global program that works with companies outside of the US, and they actually travel to the country and they put together like a consulting program for them. We also have the Center for Consumer Insights that work with companies and pushing their marketing and branding strategy. So there are definitely opportunities. There is not a core course that works with companies, but if that is something you're interested in, there are definitely, you know, among the electives ways to do it.
Great. One question, if my GMAT is not high, do you suggest that I retake it? So I would like to say here that your GMAT is not the only part of your application. We do have a holistic view on all of our applicants. So we will review your work experience, your volunteer work, your grades from your MBA. So it's not the only portion of your application that we look for. Of course, all portions are important. So we do look at all of them equally. If you have the opportunity to retake it and you want to, you certainly can. We will accept a new test score. But just know that it's not the only part of your application that we're looking at.
That's correct. Well, the stronger every part of your application is, the bigger your chances to get a scholarship.
Great. Next question. I am a student from a non-traditional background. This viewer has put that he has worked in a startup or an NGO. Is it welcomed? Yes, we have students from all different backgrounds. We get asked a lot, what does the ideal MAM candidate look like? And of course, we could say things like great academics, good test scores, things like that. But in terms of work experience, we don't have one example that we look for. Our MAM students are very unique. So yes, it would be welcomed.
We have a question about, should I apply in round 2 or round 3? It very much, I assume you're coming from a global network school, because if you're from outside of Virginia, you do have to apply in round 3. But if you come from a GNAM school, my suggestion would be apply when you are ready to present your best self. Like make sure that your application is the best that it can possibly be. And with that being said, if you are able to apply in round 2, that would be better than round 3, because we anticipate that round 3 will be more competitive because we're opening it up to non-GNAM schools. So if you're ready for round 2, that would be better. But if your application will be stronger by round 3, then wait and submit it by round 3.
Great. Next question, is there room in the application for applicants to explain extraordinary circumstances that may have affected their GPA or work experience? We take that into consideration when evaluating the application. Yes, there is. We do offer an optional statement. If there is something in your application you want to explain, my recommendation is if you don't have anything in your application that you think needs further explanation, you don't need to fill out this essay. What this is here for is if you do have something that you think needs further explanation in your application, we always do appreciate the applicant recognizing that and using that space to let us know a little bit more about the circumstances that they may have been facing for that particular part of the application.
Okay, we are 5 minutes away, so we will continue taking questions. But before we take the last questions, I want to make sure that you take note of the email address that is on the bottom of the slide, advanced.management@yale.edu. That is our inbox. We're constantly monitoring that inbox. So if you have personal questions that you don't feel comfortable asking here in front of everybody, please feel free to email us. We will be getting back to you shortly. Or if you have general questions that we haven't been able to cover in this presentation, feel free to also write to us. Again, advanced.management@yale.edu. The session has been recorded, so you will be able to access it later if you want to review or you haven't been able to stay with us for the whole time. And again, the next round of applications is February 22nd. If you are ready and you come from a GNAM school, please go ahead. We're looking forward to reviewing your applications. And if not, just wait and then submit it by April 12th, where we'll be welcoming the non-GNAM schools. And we're very, very excited to opening up the program to this new pool of talent from around the world. We know that they're gonna bring new insights, new perspectives, and they're only gonna make the program better. So very, very excited about that. So with that, Kelsey, do you want to take the last question? Couple questions. We got 3 minutes left.
Sure. We have one question that perfectly goes off of what you just said. Where can I find more information about the Dean or Director email? Just email us at the email Camino said. It's right at the bottom of the screen. Any questions you have, we can answer there, including that one. And then Camino, can we upload additional documents, for example, some online courses completed or other accomplishments as part of the application?
I would recommend you that you limit yourself to uploading the information that we ask you for, but you can definitely include all these additional achievements in your resume. We're going to be looking at your resume so you can list there everything, but limit yourself to uploading the documents that we're asking you to, which are the transcripts from undergrad and your MBA degree, recommendation letters from your former employer, the letter from your dean or director, the things that we're requesting, and the rest can be just listed in your resume.
Wonderful. Well, those are all the questions that I see. So I want to thank you for your time, and then I will pass it back to Camino for the last word.
Thank you, Kelsey. I just want to thank everybody for your time. I know how busy you all are, either studying your MBA or working or doing both at the same time. So we really, really appreciate your time. And we're here to support you all through the process. We hope that we have thrown some light about our program that gets you excited about it. And we would be looking forward to, again, reviewing your applications and then also answering all the questions that you might have, because we know this is a big decision. So you should take your time and consider pros and cons before deciding to apply. Again, reminding you the masterclass that we have on Friday and the application tips webinar that we will be having next week on February 8th. If you want to register, those two events will be also very valuable for you to get to know us better, the school and the program. Thank you everybody for your time and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.